You're a hermit crab named Krill who's had his shell stolen and have embarked on a quest to get it back, leading you to battle the deranged denizens of the deep in Souls-like combat using your trusty fork. But you're woefully easy to hurt without your shell. Luckily, the seafloor is strewn with literally trashy replacements that can take a few hits before you need to find a new one. These shells and their abilities are a nice twist to Souls-like gameplay, combining spells, armor, and shields into one easy-to-break item. This, plus the simplified stat system, lack of stamina, an array of accessibility options that allow you to fine-tune the difficulty to your liking, made me wonder if I was potentially playing the first Souls-like for younger gamers, until one of the crabs started talking. Now, a PC gamer, there's a deep fondness for puns, so I consider the astonishing amount of puns in Another Crab's Treasure a feature, not a bug. The constant satirical jabs at my beloved capitalism are about as subtle as being punched by Bernie Sanders, but still, I like the crab who learns incredibly slowly that a workforce is being exploited, and that could be bad. I'm less fond of the script hiding swearing in puns, mostly because it's so often done with a very slim variety of words made all the stranger by a later boss just outright saying, "Aw, shit." There's enough good characters and genuinely funny lines that I still spoke to every NPC, but this really could have used an editor or someone pushing Tim Schafer overboard for a script pass. In fact, the game's levels are highly reminiscent of Psychonauts, except with good platforming. The script misses more than it hits, but the visual jokes are constantly delightful. The treasure map that drives most of the plot is a children's maze on the back of a cereal box. Lobsters charge at you like knights on horseback, except they're using toilet brushes as jousting poles. And one difficulty option is give Krill a gun, which turns his shell into a one-hit kill handgun. Dark Souls thought holding down the run button and then clicking in the analog stick was an acceptable way to let the player jump. Luckily, Another Crab's Treasure is a far more competent platformer. You get a dedicated jump button. Wow. And Krill has a very limited ability to swim that lets you float a little further. Mario won't be worried, but it's still a fun 3D jump 'em up where you dread the combat bits for all the right reasons. And the platforming helps it stand out from the increasingly crowded Souls-like pack. Considering how much these games are about exploring, it's surprising that someone hasn't thought to combine the platformer and the Souls-like already, because they slot together great here. It's a little janky, but I wouldn't say no to a patch that stops me occasionally getting stuck in the scenery. But I mostly loved leaping around its hostile waters for secrets. Doesn't hurt either that Krill is a lovely lead crab. He shouts, "No, no, 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 no," Nathan Drake style when you let yourself get hit by an unblockable attack, and cheers whenever you level up, instantly making the crab the most relatable Souls-like protagonist of all time. He's optimistic, sympathetic, and even has a nice little character arc. He's yet another pleasant surprise from a game full of them. Ship show? Actually, this is often brilliant. God, I hate myself. The most fun I've had with a Souls-like since Elden Ring, the less self-serious take on the genre I wanted Lies of P to be. From Software should just go ahead and cancel Shadow of the Erdtree. Okay, now we're moving from possible hyperbole to outright lies. But I honestly stand by the first two. Another Crab's Treasure is a joke game that takes being a great Soul-like seriously. A charming, creative platformer with terrific combat and a good eye for both pretty scenery and silly sight gags. But it also contains the line, "This goddamn ship show," so I'll respect any demands to take 80 points off its score. Just an editor's note, the games I compare this to mostly are actually the Star Wars Jedi games. The focus on platforming, the mix of things from Sekiro and Dark Souls, the fact you have one weapon that can turn into different weapons,